Twoplus years ago, the Bruins set a goal of improving their organizational depth. They have done so nicely. At this point in most past preseasons, the Bees would typically have a small number of unanswered roster questions, maybe as few as 1 or 2 spots yet to be decided. But now, as the Bruins face their penultimate exhibition game in Philadelphia against the Flyers tonight, then their final tune-up Saturday in Chicago against the Blackhawks, a large crowd of players remains in contention for a spot on the opening night roster. We feel there are a lot of, for lack of a better term, qualified candidates for those spots, Bees coach Bruce Cassidy said after practice yesterday at Warrior Ice Arena. Some of that was by design. When general manager Donnie Sweeney put the roster together, we talked about wanting to build in some of these young, talented players. But there needed to be a margin for error there, if that wasn't going to work. So I think he specifically wanted to target some depth players for that reason, and to build our whole organization's depth. We want to make sure we have quality people ready to go if there's a next minute situation. So far, so good. We've had good efforts from guys. I think they recognize the competition that is there. That should make our team better. You hope. Yes, they will be hard decisions. Because of that, you might have one lineup tonight, but it doesn't mean some of these players can't push their way through and add something the next night or a week later. That's the beauty of the depth. Skating as just a single group for the first time in camp, the Bees forward lines yesterday broke down like THIS Patrice Bergeron, Brad Marchand and Anders Bjork, David Krejci, David Pastrnak and Jake DeBrusk, Ryan Spooner, David Bax and Sean Kurally, Riley Nash, Matt Beleskey and Noel Acciari, Austin Charnik, Frank Vetrano and Teddy Purcell, Kenny Agostino. Jacob Forsbacka, Carlson, Tim Scholler and Anton Heinen in those bottom 2 lines. That's a lot of guys who have proven they can succeed at the NHL level. Yet there can't be NHL jobs for many of them, depending on the staff's final decisions. On defense, the top 5 spots are locks, and 3 guys are fighting for the number 6 and number 7 jobs. Yesterday's pairs Zdeno Chara and Brandon Carlo, Kevin Miller and Charlie McAvoy, Adam McQuaid and Matt Grzelcyk, Paul Postma and Rob Bogard. I would say Carlo, Miller, McAvoy, and McQuaid are pretty solidly positioned right now, Cassidy said. And then it's a question of who is the best fit. Is it Postma, it is Grizz, or is it Ogar? They all have qualities that would allow them to be that guy. It's not determined yet. Some of that will get sorted out in these next 2 games. Bump in the road for Khudobin, locked in as the number 2 goalie. The Bruins keeping their fingers crossed he performs more like the player who finished 610 last season than the guy who opened 151. Did not practice yesterday due to a minor lower body injury. Cassidy said he should be okay to take part today and play in Saturday's finale. The coach plans to keep most of his top guys out of that game in Chicago. Not to get too far ahead of ourselves, but we want to be careful, protect our core and maybe look at some of the marginal spots, said Cassidy. I'd like to think some of the bigger questions have been answered, and by Saturday you're filtering down to who fits in that bottom forward piece, 6th D, 7th D. I don't want to say lesser questions, but they probably are. Later seen making that gains. It remains to be seen whether Malcolm Subban or Zane McIntyre can prove themselves to be reliable NHL goalies. Because doubts remain about both, under-the-radar prospect Daniel Vladar, 20, could end up the youngster with the Bruins' future. The 6'6" goalie was the 3rd-round pick, number 75 overall in 2015. The Prague native had left wrist surgery over the summer and missed the first 2 weeks of camp. He rejoined the team yesterday and was assigned to Providence, where he played 8 games last year. 401 2.62 921. I've heard good things, Cassidy said of Vladar. I've seen him in development camp. This injury was unfortunate for him, but hopefully not a big setback.